Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And last night was a huge night for fashion.
Oh, yes. The Met Gala, fashion's biggest event of the year.
Unfortunately, it was also a huge night outside Drake's house.
Oof, this took a turn. This beef, I think, has gone too far.
Yeah, there was a shooting outside Drake's home in Toronto. Pretty scary stuff.
Somebody was super critically injured.
Yes.
Was hospitalized, and appears they don't have the suspect in custody.
We'll also talk about Britney Spears. It
Mhm.
seems like she's a watch this space right now because it's just one weird thing after the next.
Right.
And finally, we'll talk about Gisele's reactions to those jokes at the Tom Brady roast.
Ooh.
Wasn't pleased.
Yeah, to say the least.
To begin with, pretty crazy stuff in this Kendrick Lamar-Drake beef because people have taken the beef offline.
Seriously.
Yeah, there was a shooting last night near Drake's Toronto home. It appears it might have been like
At his house.
in his front yard
Mhm.
because his front door is taped off by police right now.
Mhm.
What we know is that one person was seriously injured and transported to hospital after it was about at 2 a.m. local time that the shooting took place. We don't know who was shot, but we know it wasn't Drake. And we don't know who might have been the shooter because police said they fled the scene immediately.
Yeah, in a car and left.
Right.
But this is definitely a scary and dangerous twist to this whole rap beef that's been going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I mean, they've obviously fired shots at each other. Well, I guess figuratively and now possibly literally. We obviously don't know who was connected in the shooting. But, you know, I think it's interesting that one of the Kendrick Lamar songs, the main art, he actually used a photo of Drake's mansion. And this is where this, alleged shooting, or can you say alleged? I mean, the guy was shot.
It was a shooting, but we just don't know the details.
We don't know, like, who exactly this was. But the main photo of one of the rap songs was of his mansion. And that whole song was basically a bunch of sex offenders live here.
Yep.
And so, this could also be somebody not even related at all to Kendrick. This could just be somebody that's like, sex offenders are there. I'm going to go and take them down. But obviously, this is a developing story. We'll keep you updated on everything as it develops.
I don't know how this
scary.
This rap beef can go. I mean, there's rap beefs that have got sort of violent in the past, but I don't know. Like, will Kendrick continue to lean into hating Drake that much when there are like supposed vigilantes out there trying to get these sex offenders in this house you'd assume based off what Kendrick has said, like Drake's house was known, like people knew he lived there, but maybe not in this public a way. And so Kendrick basically sent the dogs on Drake, it seems. And now, do you really want something, happening like this in real life? I guess Kendrick will have to weigh that up.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them have said anything, Kendrick nor Kendrick, and we have reached out to both of their teams. And kind of like Charlie said, we know that Drake wasn't the person injured. It's unclear if he was even home at the time. We do know he has been recently in Toronto at his house, so it is possible he was there, but we haven't confirmed if he was or not. But I mean, he's got to be kind of scared, like seeing the police investigators there outside of his home with all the caution tape. I mean, there's helicopters flying over, news helicopters trying to get a peek of the action of what's happening. It's definitely probably been a rude awakening for Drake. Now it's really serious.
Yeah, because he must feel unsafe going anywhere, in coming days.
And this is a very safe neighborhood too in Toronto. This is like the ritzy of the Ritz area in Toronto, where you have all these mega mansions, super rich people. I imagine that the neighbors aren't too happy about this either.
Right. All right, we'll keep you abreast with any developing details on that story. On to our next story. The Met was last night, and it seems like
so amazing.
Nudity is in. Nudity is back.
Yeah, I definitely saw that trend. So the theme was basically like this garden theme, the dress code was a garden theme, but There was also like a lot of darkness that
Yep.
people came with because the whole dress code was based off of a book where it's about these like really rich people in England, and they have a garden with flowers that change time. And then, in this short story, there's like a mob of people that come and like, raid the house. So basically, that gives a lot of creativity for these designers. Kim Kardashian came in like floral, silvery floral.
Her waist was so small.
So tiny.
I feel like
tiny.
her corset just like made her.
Yeah. Which, I mean, remember back to the theme I just mentioned. This was like a London. The story was about this like London couple. So the corsets back then, she's going back in time. I can see how they connected. The designer connected the dots there. She's wearing Margiela, one of my favorite designers.
Yeah, she looked good. I feel like Doja Cat won the night.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She was just wearing like she won the wet t-shirt competition basically. An all white.
It's kind of a big wet
t-shirt. And
you could see some nipples.
Yes, you
Free
can.
the nipple was definitely there and prominent.
But also, she just said, a few weeks ago that she just had a breast reduction and liposuction.
Yep.
So she was showing off
her new look.
Yeah.
Very confident. You can see she's total confidence.
It worked for me because she was kind of like dressed down in a way that you don't see at the Met Gala. Like just wearing a t-shirt, plain white t-shirt.
But it was all about the makeup, like the tears coming down.
She killed it.
I loved it. I loved the look.
What else did you like from last night?
I mean, I loved anybody that came rocking in big florals. I thought best couple was Kelsey Ballerini and Chase Stokes. They looked amazing to me because she came in a big, huge floral gown. And then he was polar opposite, like the juxtaposition where he had like all dark, very like Maleficent kind of style. So I thought that was a good pairing.
Yeah, they looked good. I like
the best was Zendaya.
She was okay.
She crushed it. She was like one of the first big celebrities to walk the green white carpet.
Yeah.
And she had this amazing headpiece. And what I loved about that was her stylist that she always works with, La Roche, had said just a couple days ago they didn't really have a dress ready to go. So everyone was like, "Oh my gosh! Like the Met Gala is days away. You have Zendaya as your celebrity to style. What is going on?" Turns out they just had repurposed a dress from also Margiela. And all they did was they did some quick little alterations, added a headpiece and all this other stuff. And she walked like as if they had been working on this for years.
I tell you who I thought was a miss. I don't know.
Oh,
you
who?
think? I didn't love Lana Del Rey's outfit. It was
it
a bit insane.
See, that's where I love that. I love when celebrities come like with these outrageous costumes. She had this massive headpiece. It almost looked like something you wore in like Spain at a funeral. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what Spanish funerals are like, but I don't think so. She was her little it was like one of those fly nets over beds.
Yes.
And it was held up by twigs.
Yep.
It just
and seeing
crazy.
her and Kim trying to do an interview together where Kim's like dodging like her headpiece, that was hilarious.
Who else looked good?
Pamela Anderson wore makeup for the first time in a long time. She's been kind of sporting this like natural beauty thing where she's been going to all these red carpet events with zero makeup. Finally, she wore makeup at this event. It was very light looking makeup for the Met Gala, but I mean, she's gorgeous. She's Pam Anderson.
Sydney Sweeney debuted a new hairstyle.
No, hair in quotes.
Oh, okay.
It's a wig.
A wig style.
She's still blonde. Don't worry.
She had like pitch black.
She looks like Billie Eilish.
Right. I mean, but that's what I like about it too, when you take like a risk, and I don't know if I like it or not, but you notice.
But you love Sydney Sweeney.
Well, how can you not?
So did you like her in this outfit?
I like it because it's not what you should usually wear. Like, it wasn't very bosomy or whatever like that.
It was very bosomy.
Well, I saw a different outfit. Which one are you talking
it was
about?
a low-cut dress.
Oh, I haven't seen
boobs
that
are out.
one.
She looked like Billie Eilish in the Met Gala like a few years back.
Cardi B had like this crazy flowing. Where does the dress end?
I mean, the trains of these dresses were absolutely incredible. Mindy Kaling had an amazing train too. Gigi Hadid, when she first stepped out, she didn't have a train, but I think they had put it together when she had entered, and her train was so long and beautiful. But what I loved is, like, obviously these celebrities are walking up the stairs, and there were so many people like Tyla that were sucked in so tight that people had to literally pick them up and like put them up on the stairs. Like there was one, obviously there's a bunch of media there, like asking questions on the green carpet. And the guy that was with her had to pick Tyla up and put her and set her in front of the interviewer because her dress was like sand. It was made out of sand. Oh my gosh, I loved it. This was one of my favorite years.
Just one more thing. I was surprised to see Demi Lovato there.
Oh yeah.
She had criticized the Met Gala very heavily a few years back, saying that she just didn't feel like she fit in there, and being a recovering alcoholic, it made her feel like she wanted to drink. So she left the Met Gala that night, went to an AA meeting, still in her Met thing, she said, and she felt more at home among the sort of like the AA. She said homeless people at the AA meeting than she did at the Met, and it was triggering for her. Well, she came back. And she was there again last night.
She seems like she's in a better place.
Yes, that's good. I was just surprised to see her there after everything that had happened, but you're right.
I was surprised to see people not there. No Blake Lively. I think a lot of people were sad about that. And no Rihanna this year.
Yeah, she had the flu.
Yeah, sad.
Sad.
I bet she had an amazing outfit
I
prepared.
know, that must suck.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our next story. Britney Spears, it appears she is driving around LA by herself with a foot that she says needed surgery. So she showed video of this foot after the incident at the Chateau Marmont, an incident she said happened when she tried to do a cartwheel, but some people suspect there might be something else going on with her and her boyfriend, Paul Soliz.
Right.
But
they still appear to be strong.
They appear to be strong, but her foot looked awful.
Horrible.
And it is the pedal foot. It's her right foot. And she's just driving around, which feels a little bit unsafe at the very least. She's also posting bizarre video of her on a horseback screaming at a cowboy. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I know that when she was under the conservatorship, she was not allowed to drive. And that was like one of her big things when she got out of the conservatorship. She's like, I can finally drive myself wherever I want to go. And you want somebody to have that freedom. But at the same time, like, I feel like if your foot is injured, it's kind of hard to drive, especially in LA where all the traffic is stop and go. You're consistently having to put your foot on the pedal. But I mean, I don't know what her, what her narrative is about the events that led to her actual foot being injured. It seems like she's denied our story, but we know that something had happened in that hotel room between her and Paul. However, they were together driving around just recently, and we know that when there was this incident at the Chateau Marmont, she left him there at the hotel. Yeah, she had left with her security after paramedics came, and she had denied to be treated by the paramedics. She left and without Paul. So it seemed like that didn't end well for them that night, but now we have photos of them together out driving in LA.
This poor guy is an interesting character because he started at her house as a cleaner or a handyman.
Groundskeeper.
He has 9 kids.
Yeah.
9 kids. His ex, who's mother to I think about 5 of the kids, said he cheated on her with Britney, that he doesn't pay his child support. This guy also has gotten in trouble with the law before. It's just an interesting guy for Britney to be messing around with at this time in her life.
But I feel like Britney kind of imitates art in a way. Like if you think of her song Lucky, now that rings so true to her life. And she had a song, Mama, I'm in Love with a Criminal. And so that's kind of her imitating art, I guess. But I mean, look, it's Britney Spears. She could get anybody she wants.
What? No, Charlie.
She is Britney Spears.
Look, I know you know. Anyone.
Oh, I know you know the current Britney Spears, but she's still Britney Spears.
The old Britney Spears could get anyone. This Britney Spears.
Oh, Charlie, if she tried dating you, you would be like, absolutely yes.
Firstly, I'm married, and secondly, no.
Okay.
On to our final story, our almost news story. Gisele Bündchen, she was pissed over this Tom Brady diss, the beef. Basically, people were firing shots at their marriage and why they broke up, stuff about how he traded his wife and kids for, a mediocre season in NFL. There was lots of about how she left him for the jiu-jitsu instructor.
Right.
To be honest, they were pretty tame jokes, and they weren't targeted at her. They were targeted at Brady.
Right. It's the Tom Brady roast. And I'm sure he knows going in that everybody connected to him in some kind of way is at risk of being lumped into some kind of insult. That's what the whole roast is. Nothing is off
Right.
limits. But reportedly, she is upset by this. She's trying to protect her children, said that a lot of these comments were irresponsible content. But if you guys remember, Nikki Glazer, she was one of the comedians that was at the roast. She actually did an interview with Howard Stern saying basically that they kind of decided that there was going to be one topic off limits, and that was the children. And it stood true because they didn't mention the children. However, people around Gisele are saying like Gisele feels like the children were affected by the roast because of some of the horrible comments that were made about herself and about just their dad in general.
Yeah, I mean, the kids aren't dumb. They got social media too. They see what was said about their parents. But it's also just one of these things about being one of the most famous people in the world. There are going to be stories written about you when you're in love. There are going to be stories written about you when you divorce. And your kids will have to see that. So, yeah, there are a lot of perks with being famous, and there are a lot of downsides too. But, I mean, she chose this life, and it's a great life for her. But it seems like lately she's not loving it. Like, she had that run-in with the paparazzi recently where she was
She's
crying.
crying.
Now she's upset about this roast of Tom. I don't know. I think it's just part and parcel of being a celebrity.
Yeah, and also when you're dating / married / divorced from Tom Brady, you kind of know what comes with that territory. It's not all about you. If he chose to do this roast and he felt comfortable and confident enough for all his friends to crack jokes at him, I mean, let the man live. It's his new life. He's creating his own path. He is the GOAT. Like, let him go out with a bang, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Just go back and do some sort of naked jujitsu with your new boyfriend. Okay, hit us with your new segment, Charlie. Today in history.
Today in history. So we got a couple birthdays.
Okay.
Well, one main birthday. Alexander Ludwig. Do you know who that is?
Is he from Vikings?
Yeah, he's from Vikings. I love him on Vikings. He turned 32 today. Also, The Mummy came out on this day. Do you remember The Mummy?
Is that Brendan Fraser?
Yes.
That was
and
a
he's
good
been
movie.
slowly making a comeback. I love
Oh,
him.
he has. He won an Oscar.
Yeah, for The Whale.
Yep.
So that came out. Also, couple amazing songs went #1. First one was This Day in 2005, my favorite era ever. 2005, that was my senior year in high school. Shout out Glendora High School. Holler Back Girl
That
was
would've been-
#1 by Gwen Stefani on this day in 2005.
Was that like the peak of your life? Just
Oh
like
my gosh,
being the cool
yes.
girl at school and like a holla back
I loved
girl.
Gwen Stefani too. She was a trailblazer. She was like that cool, hot chick that like all the guys wanted to be friends with. She was like an OC girl. Like everyone loved her. Okay, another song that went #1 in 2016, a little bit more current. Panda by Designer.
What?
Panda, 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 panda.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Please never make me do that again.
He had that one Panda 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 song,
and
then
it kind of disappeared. I know, but it's a hit.
it was fun.
It put him on the map.
Did you see that story yesterday about the zoo that got dogs and they spray painted them so it looked like pandas and put them at
Oh
the zoo?
my gosh.
It was a zoo.
What are
they
we
were-
doing here, folks?
I mean, it just made me think. When you said panda, these guys spray paint. It was at the zoo. They were actually dogs.
What
Anyway,
zoo was this?
probably some foreign zoo.
I would want my money back.
Right. Okay, Charlie.
Okay, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.